Hey, this is Intermodal Trucker. My name is Larry, and as promised, I said that I would bring you guys into my RC workshop and show you around. Now, before we do this, you got to remember something. I used to own a hobby store. So I know somebody made a comment, oh, just like JBG Travels, we get to see all those toys or something like that. There's a saying that says that he who dies with the most toys wins. About 10, 15 years ago or so, 15, 20 years ago actually, I was winning. There was no doubt about that one. I have a lot of stuff. You're going to think it's a lot that I have now, these RC stuff, but it's not from what I used to. And see, like, there's wings stuck in rafters. Here, we can go back here first. And you can see, like old crash planes. There's half a plane. I don't even remember that plane that's been up there so long. There's one that's all schmuckered up. I have no idea why I kept them. Pieces and parts, I guess. That one up there, that red one's not too bad. And that's actually called the Super Hots. And then there's probably, I bet you there's probably 8 or 10 wings in a pile right there from airplanes. Because a lot of times the airplanes would nose in and it would smash the airplane up, but the wing would still be good. So I'd keep the wing, thinking, oh, maybe I'll rebuild that airplane and just reuse the wing. These are my airplanes here that I have now. This first one right here is actually an electric one. It's just a little tiny electric one. It has no electronics in it. There's nothing wrong with it. I kind of wanted to go up to this one, which is this Yak 54, and I saw people flying them, and I tried to fly it, and I flew one, and I really liked the performance of it. So I stole a lot of the gear that was in here and just put it into that one, and then I just bought a bigger motor for that one. So that one's there. This one over here, let's see if I can get to them. This one over here, this camouflage one, I don't know how good you guys can see. It's kind of dark in here. Oops, my covers just fell. This one here is a very fast airplane. That thing flies with an OS 46 FX nitro motor. It has a tune pipe. You can see it right there. It's got that OS FX 46 FX engine in it, which is a really good engine. And then I got that tune pipe on there, which really makes her scream. And that little airplane does about 70 to 80 miles an hour. I have the identical one right here. This is a brand new one. I've never flown it. And I actually gave that one to John over at JBG Travel because I wanted him to get him back flying again. And so I gave that one to him, and I gave him an older 40 size nitro motor that I had laying around, and gave him all the servos and the radio and everything, and said just finish putting it together and let's go flying. And these things are real fast. You know, with the 40 size motor in them, you can do, you know, like I said, 70, 80 miles an hour. But he just never did it. It sat in his house for a couple years, and then so one day I was over there, and he was just like, take this thing home. And I was like, come on, let's go flying. And he's just, no. So actually what I'm doing with it is I brought it back, and I bought a brushless motor. And I'm going to put electric retracts in it and everything else. And I'm going to see if I can get that one to fly faster. This one here is my ultimate bite. It's a biplane. I have to replace the motor in it. That's the only thing wrong with it. I broke the crankshaft on the motor. And that is a really good airplane to fly. That's a fun airplane to fly. It does a lot of neat tricks and everything. So you can see that one better there. It's just a little dark in here. That one is a really aerobatic plane. I could fly that one really well. I was tightening the prop one day. I was changing the prop out at the flying field, and I tightened it too much and snapped the crank right inside the engine. So I bought a new engine, but I've never installed it. I just, like I said, I haven't flown last year at all. The year before that, I think I flew once, I think, and that's when I broke that one. I did rebuy the engine. It's sitting on a shelf in there. I just haven't put it on there. This one here, I actually got from one of our club members. He passed away. And he passed away, and I got this one. It's all put together, the servos, all the radio gears inside of it, but it's missing an engine. And I'm actually thinking about putting a really big brushless electric engine into it and seeing what it would do. This one here, this one is a trainer plane. And I actually built this one. I tried to get my stepson into flying. And I tried to get him to build it with me, and he never really did it. I kind of did most of it. I was trying to give him an activity, and we took it out, and he crashed it once, but it was nothing big, just a little glue and put it back together. You can see the wing right there leaning up against there. That you can see how much of an angle it has. It's called dihedral, and it's for trainer planes. It makes it so that if you let go of the sticks, if you get in trouble, if you just let go of the sticks, the plane will actually self-right itself and fly straight. So I got that one. I don't really ever do anything with it. I fly it around the farm here once in a while because there's no real good place to land. So if I crash, I don't really care. This here is actually a pile of trophies and plaques and all kinds of stuff that I have kind of gotten over the last, I would say, I'd say the last like maybe 8 years or so. I had lots more of them before that, but I just kind of started collecting them. I always just threw them away, but I started putting them up on a wall a while ago, and they're for point seasons of racing and everything. So, and of course, you know I gotta have this. Well, here we are. This is my RC workshop. The room is about 12 feet by 18 feet. And this used to be our granary out here at the farm. And when I lived in the trailer house about 15 years ago, I think it was, I put up a wall in here, closed this off, and I closed this room in. And I insulated all the walls, and I put up plastic, insulated the ceiling, and encased everything in plastic. And I put drywall up in the ceiling, and I put drywall in some of the walls, and it's not finished or not, it's just stuck up there. And it holds heat pretty good. I use that little propane turbo heater. And basically when I come out here, I just crank it up, and it heats it up in here and gets it real hot and toasty. And then I shut that off, and then I have like a little electric heater over there in the corner. And I'll turn that on and just run that, and it'll turn on and off and on and off. And it keeps it, I'd say about 60 in here. About 60 degrees when it's like 10, 20 degrees outside. This over here is just accumulation of motors and everything else. It's actually pretty low. This is that Zenoa motor I was telling you about. It's brand new. I haven't even pulled it out of the box or nothing. I have an OS 91 4-stroke that I have, and trying to figure out what I want to do with that one. I got it at a trade show thing, a swap meet, and I don't know, runs real good. I put it on a table and ran it, and then just like a little 46 motor there. Lots of different controllers for different things, airplanes, cars, all kinds of different things. And then here's all my cars that I have right now. I'm missing one. I can't figure out what I did with it. This one down here is just a Traxxas Slash. It's just a 2-wheel drive. And I have another one of those too laying around here. I don't know what I've done with it. It's just laying around here somewhere. This one actually was my wife's. And we use these for racing. There's a racing class that everything's stock. You can't change motors, speed controls, or nothing. And you have to run it the way it is bought, and you race them. And that was the body that I painted up for her. And for her racing and stuff. And she used it a couple times, but then she just kind of never really. She used to race all the time, but she kind of stopped doing it. All my paints and stuff. These are all my different bodies. These are bodies that I paint. I actually enjoy doing that. This is a body for this one. It has, I switched to transmissions. It used to have a stand-up transmission. I put a lay-down transmission in it, so I took a different body. This one here is actually for this one here. This is a Losi buggy. And, oops, knocking things down. And this one here I actually won. There's a guy that has, he's kind of made a business. He's a really good painter. And he's kind of made his own business, and he paints up bodies. I won this at a raffle. It's got like wood inside of it and everything. Inside the painting of it looks like kind of wood and stuff, and it's pretty cool. He paints these up and charges $75 for his bodies. So I bash around a little too much to pay $75 for a body, and I usually just kind of do the same things and don't worry about it and smash them up. Like I said, this one is a Losi. It's a double X. And this one down here is my associated B4.2. And all these, they all ready to go. They're all ready to race. I have everything is all, so you can see inside there, they all have the servos, receivers, speed controls. Everything is ready to go. I keep different buggies because different racetracks have different contours, different traction, different layouts, tight, loose, sweeping turns. They all have different things, and so those different buggies, they all drive differently. And so, I kind of keep one for, if I go into this track, I'll grab this one. If I go on that track, I'll grab this one. This one here is my newest one. And this one here is an associated. This is the B6. And it's the B6D, but it's actually been customized, and it has all the aftermarket parts and lay-down transmission and everything else. And yeah, this one's pretty nice. But it pushes a lot. And that's a big common thing out there in the market. People have a little issue with this one, and it's pushing. So when you go into turn and stuff like that, it likes to push through the turns. So what else is going on here? This here is my scroll saw. I've had this thing for years and years and years. Use that for when I'm building airplanes and stuff. And then I have a drill press in here, and I have a little air conditioner in here because it gets pretty hot here in the summertime. This is a grain rain, so it gets a little warm. This over here is for working on cars and everything. I can sit on. It's kind of a sit-on workbench, and I got my little bench grinder and a little belt sander, and it's got a little sanding wheel on there and stuff. And then my solder station for all the motors and all the little tooling and everything like that. It's over here. This down here is actually my flight box. And I kind of rigged it up and put it on wheels. It's pretty heavy. It's got drawers that all pull out of it. It actually has two 12-volt gel cells inside there. So it puts out 24 volts. So when I use my my big starter, I have those up there. And when I use my big hand starter for my big gas engines, my big gas ones, then I kick it on at 24 and it cranks the engines over. I don't like flipping them by hand like a lot of people do. I've seen too many people with broken fingers and stuff. But I put some wheels on there and put that little handle on there so I can just wheel it around. that cabinet down there, it's just full of inserts, tires. It's all different stuff. And it kind of like when you know, cars, if you want a softer tire or something like that, then you put more or less air into it, you know, to change the tire. Well, it's the same way. They have different foam inserts, and you buy all kinds of different inserts every track you go to. Maybe it's a dry day, maybe it's a wet day, you know, you need to change inserts and everything else. So, and these are just all old tires, you know, with different traction compounds, different softness to them, everything else. And I mean, these are closed cell inserts. What else is going on here? This here is my pit bag. This here is my pit bag. This is what I take racing with me. It's on wheels, and it has a handle that pulls out, so it's like a little suitcase. Up on the top here, you open this up, and then it's got all my tooling and stuff that I use for adjusting the cars, if I have to change parts or whatever. All my little tools fit up into there. And then you open this up. And these are all the different tires. Like I said, see, like these are like little pins. You can see those. Those are pins, and then here's a pair of these. These are some old ones, pretty much worn out. But they're really soft, and you can kind of see the traction on those. It's kind of like a web type pattern to it. Each one of these bags has a different tire with a different compound tire, different thick softness, hardness, and then they have different inserts inside the tires to make them softer and harder too. And they're all labeled. If you go inside here, it'll be initials. They're written on the inside of the rim. It's a code that I have that I've done myself, and it tells me the tire goes on the left or goes on the right. And then it tells me the compound, like this one here, is a gold compound. And, and I have blue. I have B in there. So that means it has the blue closed cell. It's just a whole thing that I have that I've kind of done. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, guys. This is my little impact thing. Oh, there she goes. I have little bits. It's just like a little NASCAR thing when I go to change tires, because I'll go out there and run. And if I'm not getting the traction I feel, then I'll grab a different set of tires, and they got these little nuts that hold them on. There's like just like a wheel nut on a tire on a car. And I have bits that fit into here. And ring, I zip them off and put them back on. Let's see, this is my radio. This one's a pretty nice one. This is the DMT4S, and this is a pretty nice little radio, real nice. And you can see this is the steering wheel right here, and then you got your trigger and your brake on the front, and it's got so many different little things inside of it and everything. But just to show you the different tires. This whole bag of tires is all the same It's all the same traction. It has the same pattern on them, but they all have different inserts in them, which makes them softer or harder. So I have a lot. I do a lot with tires. Tires really make a difference, and you can spend a lot of money on tires. These are my main ones. Those are the ones I have for my buggy. So, and then this has like pull-out drawer. These are all the different shock oils, all the different weights of shock oils, so you can adjust your dampening and your shocks for different tracks. If it's a bumpy track, you know, soft track or whatever. And then you can also, if you can't get the traction you want, Then you can use this stuff here. This is sticky traction stuff. You put this on your tires and it actually makes them even softer. It kind of makes them kind of gummy. So, and I have different compounds and that stuff too. Different stuff. Different stuff. I know you guys are going, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Guys, this is nothing. This is nothing to my old days. These are all different motors in here. And I usually have like 1 or 2 extra motors with me. These are all my kind of my tooling over in this one here. And this one here is for camber, to adjust the camber to tires so they lean in or out, so you can adjust it for a negative or a positive camber. Looks like I got a motor over here that needs to be rebuilt. Whenever I throw them into this one, that motor needs to be pulled apart and cleaned up, rebuilt. This one here is a ride height gauge. You can adjust it for millimeters. You just set it. You just move that up and set it, and it moves this arm up and down. You set it on a table, and you slide the car. You push it down, and it rebounds the shocks, and you slide this underneath, and you can adjust your shocks up and down. What is this? Oh, this is my temperature gauge. This here, it's actually a stopwatch. I can clip this onto my waist belt, and it's a stopwatch so I can time my tracks myself. They have little little chips that go inside of the cars, and there's wires on the track, and when the car goes across that wire, the little transponders register to you. And it's just like NASCAR. They use pretty much the same thing except a little bigger. And it gives you your times and keeps track of it all in a computerized version. But if you're out there and it's not a race day or something like that, you can use things like this. But this is also for reading temperature on the engines. After I get done running for about 5 minutes or whatever, then I bring the thing in there and I push this button and I hold it down on there, and it will actually read the temperature to give me the temperature reading of the motor. So if I know if I have it geared too high or too low, I can whatever, to get more power in the corners or more top speed or whatever. And then that's what these are. These are all pinions. This whole thing is full of different gears. And you can see them there. These are all the pinion gears. These go on the motors. And they're all the different size pinion gears that I use. And you can also change the spur and the spur gears on the transmission. So you can make the 2 gear ratios work. And you change both of them. Sometimes, sometimes you just change to 1 or whatever. Down here, this one here is my pit towel that I lay down on a table. And then I have a big soldering station. This is like a work table that the car sits on, and it can sit there and rotate, and it keeps the tires off the ground, because if you let the car sit with the tires on the table, it'll actually flat spot your tires. It makes the foam get flat spots in it and everything else. You don't want that. And then I have a power converter deal in here with a charger that I can charge big LiPo batteries. And then I have a box in the bottom of here too, and it's got like 8 different little batteries that are inside of it for my racing. And I know, you guys are going, what? I know. And there's this tools and everything, all these pockets and all kinds of different things, little storage stuff. This whole thing, I take this to the track with me. I used to carry this in my truck, my semi. And like I said, I used to stop down in Milwaukee and race and stuff. Little Dremel tool. If I gotta cut something or broke a screw or something, I need to cut the head off the screw to get it out. All kinds of different things. So that's my RC cars. That's what I race now. I haven't raced this winter at all. I did not race at all. I just didn't have the time, and I just didn't do it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I probably will keep it. I'm actually thinking about selling all of those and buying a new one. There's a 4x4 buggy. These are all 2-wheel drive buggies. I'm thinking about buying this 4x4 buggy that's out. That's supposed to be pretty cool. I've been hearing good stuff about it. So, I don't know. I have all the stuff, so it's not like I need to go spend money, but it does cost money to go race. You know, it's not like it's a free thing to do. So, and right now, I'm trying to pay off a lot of different things, so it's kind of not my necessity right at the moment. Well, there you guys go. I'm going to split this up into 2 parts, so I'm going to make this part 1. It's gotten a little longer than what I was thinking it was going to be, and I got a lot of stuff, I guess. So I'm going to do a part 2. So this was kind of my RC cars, a little bit of my planes out there. Then I'll go through the rest of my shop on part 2. I hope everyone's having a great day, great night, whatever it is for you when you are watching this. And if you're not, we can sure try that over again tomorrow. Hey, if you haven't, hit that subscribe button down in the bottom. To the right, there's a button. It's a bell. Click on the bell. And give me that old thumbs up too if you wouldn't mind. And down below, write any comments if you have any questions, concerns, whatever. I'll try to get back to you. So until next time, guys, see ya.